Okay, so I guess I'll try to answer this question. I'll turn off the bot for now. Um, Turn off the stop timer. This question, a lot of people. Yeah, I'll go through the AMA this way because honestly, um, it's hard for me to write like long paragraphs. So I'm just gonna go through the AMA, and if anyone um, feels like they want to um, write basically what I'm saying on stream, feel free. I'm going to give a short answer to a lot of these questions via Reddit, so like maybe a paragraph answer. But for the long things that take time to explain, and the things that um, just take a lot of thinking, and I'm not very good at writing things, writing long sentences and or sorry, long paragraphs and like a page essay. Just it's very difficult for me to write. Even speaking publicly, it's a little bit difficult, but I feel more comfortable and it's easier for me. So I'll explain a few things. So the first question comes from Groperfish. He says, "How much do you make playing League of Legends for a living? Is it enough to have a comfortable, independent lifestyle?" So I wrote no figures because honestly I can't give figures. I'm obligated not to give figures, and I don't feel comfortable giving figures. But what I can say is right now I'll have more than enough to live a comfortable lifestyle. With all the things planned in the future and all the things I have planned for the business and CLG as a team, everybody will live a comfortable lifestyle. We can do this as a living, and it's already you know it's already been put into motion. Voodoo's actually dropping school, and he's going to work on the website full time. Another person, Clevenger, he's going to drop school and work on the website full time in the site in the business. Frost, he's going to do his own thing, but he's going to be on a salary still. And the team is going to receive a fairly good budget, and it'll improve as we go along. But it's enough to live a comfortable lifestyle with the streaming. So that's right now. That's how it is for myself and the team and the business. We are in the point where we can make a comfortable lifestyle for the next year or two. So that's where we are right now. So how do you think the LoL pro scene will change over time? Or sorry, change over the coming months and with season 2? So the past year, the LoL scene was very stagnant. We had CLG winning almost everything for a long portion. We had TSM winning everything for a long portion. There were really no teams to compete with, basically, us and TSM. And once the DreamHack finals took place, it really put a lot of things in motion. The prize money really enticed a lot of people to like really practice and get that competitive scene going. EG came out of nowhere. They were second last seed and they barely had anything played, and they just came out of nowhere and started practicing like crazy with TSM. All the European teams just came out of nowhere and wowed everybody. And actually, TSM has won a major tournament. Well, they've won many tournaments in the past, and I would consider them difficult tournaments to win. So they have won in the past. But as I was saying, it was a good start after Season 1 ended. That Season 1 tournament really put things in motion. And as soon as people announced that there's $5 million prize pool and all these things, a lot of people are hustling. A lot of people are actually leaving the game so that they can try to make a living off League of Legends and become good at League of Legends. I've seen Chu a lot more on League of Legends. If Dota 2 doesn't work out for him, he's going to continue playing League of Legends. I believe. I don't think he's going to stay with Han because Han is just, it's not there anymore, and they're just slowly dying. So Season 2 with the Korean community, the Korean competitive community, and the Chinese competitive community living in gaming houses and constantly scrimming for insane hours like per day and having really routine schedules, I think the competition will be really fierce, and a lot of people will drastically improve for this season. I think everything will, everything will change basically. There won't be one dominant team, and it'll be really back and forth, and we'll have a really competitive season. And as for an inspirational quote, well, this was hard for me to like really say. I'm not a fan of one-liner quotes, so basically what I was going to explain was like my um, philosophy on life, basically. And it's not get paid, get laid. That's just a joke, for my persona or whatever. Honestly, people think that I'm legitimately like a very like selfish and rude, arrogant person. And honestly, if you legitimately talk to me, I don't think you can believe that. But what happens online is different than what happens in person. I'm not even going to get into that, but I'm just going to explain my situation. So, in high school, we'll start off with high school. In high school, um, that was basically the point in my life where I had control of my life. Um, I partially had control of my life. Basically, I had no obligations other than going to school, and my parents were really they weren't they weren't forceful. They weren't demanding in terms of. Let me try to put this. They weren't really. They didn't discipline me. That's the best way I can say it. So they didn't discipline me, which means that I could do whatever I want, basically. And so the entire year of my high school, in my high school year, I literally missed 350 classes. My high school career, I missed 350 classes. And it wasn't because the work was too difficult or that I was into drugs or this or that. I legitimately didn't want to go. And it wasn't that, I really dreaded school for the fact that I had obligations and all these things. I just didn't enjoy it. I felt like I didn't fit in. And I think that comes from a problem that school hasn't really evolved. We're really living in a digital age right now, and we're starting to like change schools, and we're starting to change how the education system works slowly and slowly. But I personally was living in a digital world. I was always interacting with my environment. I was always like, I basically learned in my own way. And so when I hit school, it's like a very analog, very traditional way of teaching, and it was very boring for me. And so once I left high school, I graduated with, I think it was like a 70-something% average. And that's not too bad. It's not great, but considering the amount of days I missed, it's like a phenomenal record. So, and these were from mostly academic classes. And so, once I left school, my plan in life was to basically get a job in computer networking and literally just do the bare minimum to make it in life and like just be lazy and just have this job where I go to work 9 to 5 and do my own thing and just do the everyday thing. And so that's what I was comfortable with, and that's what I thought I was going to do. But once I arrived at my college, there was a different program, and it was like a game design program, and I've always loved, playing games, and I was always a competitive gamer, and I was always all these things. So I decided to switch. And when I switched, when you go to game design school or you go to schools that deal with games, a lot of people go in with the mentality that you're gonna design games in terms of like how they're played, and you're gonna have all these ideas, and you're gonna bring all these interesting ideas to the table, and you're gonna be like a creative resource. That is wrong. That never happens. That is not what happens in video game design school. In video game design school, you learn how to basically program, you learn how to do art, you learn all these things, and then you specialize in something. You become a programmer, and you become, like an artist, you become a graphic designer, a modeler. There's so many things that you become. You can become, but it's very, very rare for someone to actually become a game designer. And so that's where I was at. And I spent a lot of money, and I spent a lot of time trying to like get into that mentality that I was just going to, become a programmer, become an artist, or become all these things. And that's not really what I wanted to do. But I had already spent so much money on college that I didn't really want to back out. And that's like one of the things a lot of people have problems with at basically my age, is that they don't really know what they want to do. Right after high school, they're forced into a situation where they're going to pick their career for probably the rest of their life. And, it's too drastic of a decision to make right on the spot. You know, some people know and some people force themselves, but I'm not the kind of person, obviously, from high school to force myself to do something. So I basically left and I went back home because, you know, I didn't enjoy what I was going to do. And I took a step back and I wanted to reevaluate what I wanted to do. So in that time where I just took a break, I started playing League of Legends and I started streaming. And legitimately, you know, my parents and everybody in my family and everybody that cared about me was like, I don't know how long you can do this. You know, you have to go out and make money. And so I got a shitty paying job and I did that sort of thing for a while. And I basically tried to, you know, find a middle ground between being a responsible human being and supporting yourself and then, you know, trying to do what I liked. And, you know, as time progressed, out of nowhere, streaming became a big thing. You know, Own TV, when they started about, I think it was a year and a half ago or a year ago, you know, Oleg came to me, the founder of Own TV, and he was like, you know, I really want you on my site, and